couldn't see the speed bump, so like I jumped over that speed.
Then I don't hold you up too much longer.
As attacking Barr, it was because of the Afghani immigrants that were unvetted that he led into our country that caused that tragedy over Thanksgiving. Andy, you got blood on your hands, and it's so sad to hear and listen to you lie about your record.
Thank you, gentlemen. You've gotten your time. We're going to press pause here. We're going to let cooler heads prevail.
And right in the middle is Daniel Cameron. All three candidates stood for one thing collectively: President Donald Trump. Daniel Cameron was endorsed by the president when he ran for Attorney General and when he ran and lost the governor's race to Andy Beshear. And it was Cameron that used the president's name towards Morris.
Nate Morris is certainly no Donald Trump, and you will never be a United States Senator.
Gentlemen, thank you.
So who won the debate? I asked Congressman Barr and former Attorney General Daniel Cameron that very question. They both said that they did. And then when Nate Morris came to talk to the press, the first thing he said was that he won the debate. The question surrounding the debate: will the most Trump candidate win the primary? So far, the president has not endorsed anyone in this race. Richard Essex, WDRB News.
Richard, thank you. Kentucky's House has voted to override Governor Beshear's veto of House Bill 1. The bill would allow the state to opt into a federal school choice program. House Bill 1 would give Kentucky families access to the Education Freedom Tax Credit program. It comes after the state Supreme Court ruled in February that a bill establishing public funding for charter schools was unconstitutional. In 2024, Kentucky voters rejected a ballot measure that would have allowed state lawmakers to allocate public tax dollars to support students attending private or charter schools. The Senate will now vote on overriding that veto as well.
Mark Weinberg's WDRB weather forecast has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
Between today and yesterday, we had the absolute full range of Kentucky weather.
4 seasons, 12 hours. We had severe weather last night, and within 4 hours there was snow falling in parts of the area. That is wild stuff. So what we have right now is it is way colder outside. There are some lighter snow showers, but here's the thing: you can actually get a little bit more impact now with these lighter snow showers because we have cooled. The sun has set. So our pavement now can get a little bit colder. What you're going to see here is there's a gap that's developed near Louisville. See near central Illinois, there's another area. Data does suggest that's going to get back in here. We talked about what's called a flash freeze. Now you're like, Mark, why would we talk about that? The pavement's dry. You got it. There really is no reason to talk about that, but it does apply to the concept that you're going to be able to freeze on contact if you get some light snow showers once we hit around 25 degrees. Dew point's still pretty low. We've got a west-northwest wind at 16. I don't know how to say this other than it is seriously cold outside for March versus what we saw yesterday. A wind chill of 16 degrees is tough. Went to dinner, walking from the car inside was not enjoyable. So this is, and you can see by my feet the time here, this is 11 p.m. Advanced track is not showing much, but you can see around 3 a.m. what is in central Illinois moves across our area. And yeah, those temperatures are near or below 25. So what this means is this could cause some slick spots in the morning, and in particular on on-ramps, off-ramps, elevated surfaces, those types of things. Hard freeze at 3 a.m., and we're looking at a 7 a.m. temperature coming in at around 20 degrees. Light snow is going to be in play tomorrow night, and I'll spend some time on that in 10 minutes.
Thanks, Mark. When the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for Shelby and Adair counties last night, these sirens were silent.
WDRB's Dalton Godby found out what happened and why it serves as an important reminder.
In Shelby County, a radio signal from dispatch triggers these warning sirens across the county. On Sunday, the signal didn't transmit correctly. The sirens never activated.
I've got a siren across the road from my house, and there was no notification. And it was a gut punch for me. They found out that it was sending a digital signal versus an analog signal to all of our sirens, and basically, in a nutshell, it didn't know what to do.
Shelby County Emergency Management had crews working to fix the issue and retest the sirens on Monday so it doesn't happen again. And in Adair County, sirens were silent due to a hardware failure at the tower site that supports the county's outdoor warning system. The failures serving as a reminder to have multiple ways to get weather alerts.
In this day and age of electronics and digital age and everything, failures happen. And unfortunately, it just happened that night.
Those failures in Shelby and Adair have prompted emergency officials to recommend having other resources, like a NOAA weather radio.
So this thing will go off.
And enrolling in local text alerts.
You don't want to hear everybody.
Spalding added that outdoor warning sirens were never designed to be heard from inside.
I'm not taking away of getting rid of sirens or anything, but a lot of our members, they need to realize that there are other avenues out there that we can push this information to them a whole lot faster, a whole lot quicker, and, get the message to them.
In both Shelby and Adair counties,
we will have things that will go wrong, but rest assured that we correct those things.
Officials say the issues with sirens should be resolved in the coming days.
A federal judge has blocked some of the efforts by Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. to reshape U.S. vaccine policy. That judge ruling today that the CDC did not follow the law when it voted to overhaul the country's vaccine schedule for kids. The same judge also ruled that RFK's decision to fire all 17 members of the CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee last year was illegal. The rumor mill has been running about whether JCPS Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood has a driver.
The district says that's not true. He doesn't have a dedicated driver, but someone does drive him occasionally. Tonight I asked Dr. Yearwood what occasionally means.
Occasionally, if I am going to a meeting where there's parking issues or something like that, then yes, someone will take me there. But as far as a driver bringing me to work, from work, and moving around, no, there's nothing like that.
The person who drives him has the title driver/courier and makes more than $60,000 a year.
That is an individual that works for the district, and he basically has done this for multiple superintendents over the years. So, that was something that I guess, was a natural part of me being able to navigate Louisville, being new to Louisville, making sure that, again, I can get to meetings in a timely manner.
In Dr. Yearwood's contract to be superintendent of JCPS, he was also given a monthly car stipend of $750 per month. That's on top of his more than $350,000 a year salary. That's $1,346 per day. Ahead at 11, where the cuts for students with disabilities stand now, and if Dr. Yearwood believes the district will make payroll next year.
The man accused of causing a deadly wreck on the Gene Snyder in 2024 now faces upgraded charges. Arnold Quijada Vega was arraigned on murder charges this morning for the death of Christopher Nauert. Police say the suspect was impaired.
I think some more snow showers tonight, and I think tomorrow night we get back into light snow. And I'm going to look at both of these. Could any minor accumulations occur? Could we see any road impacts? Let's discuss next.
Now you can get WDRB newscasts, forecasts, and original shows whenever and wherever you want. And it's free. Download WDRB Plus for Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and on your mobile device. Has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
A lot of people kind of got a reminder what snow squalls are today. These are high-intensity bursts of snow, so what can happen is you can get almost whiteout conditions when you go through some of these. It can be fine, and then all of a sudden you drive into one and you can't see anything, so you've got to be careful around these. Some bursts are still possible tonight, although the highest intensity occurred this afternoon. And I will say this, temperatures are falling tonight. While I don't think we're talking about icy roads, I do think some slick spots could occur, and then light snow potential tomorrow night into early Wednesday. We'll discuss that as well. I do want to mention the National Weather Service, when this day began, set out to do 3 tornado surveys. The 3 surveys would then focus on specific areas within our viewing area. Grayson, Hardin, Meade County. A second survey team was going to go to Bullitt County and then to Nelson County. The day has come to an end, and they did survey Bullitt County. They have not released the results yet. They said they're going to make that determination tomorrow. The Grayson, Hardin, Meade County, they completed late today. They'll make the determination tomorrow. They did not get to Nelson County. They said that they're going to try to get out there tomorrow. Leanne Brooks captured this out of South Pole, and you can see how this basically removed a part of the roof. And then this one out of Bardstown, and you can see a tree just completely laid down. You know, I will say this. These are not easy surveys to deal with because you're going to get winds that are generally going to be mostly in one direction, which is because the storms were moving so fast. So sometimes you can see these sporadic damage, and whether it's tornado or just straight line wind bursts is not the easiest thing to determine. Either way, I know the Weather Service is being thorough on this. Perryville, Danville, there's a couple snow showers, flurries ongoing here in Louisville. Watch right here. These are the snow showers that will be moving towards us during the overnight hours tonight. You can see some severe weather mid-Atlantic. You can see snow coming through Pennsylvania. That's going through New York. And we've got a disturbance right here that's going to move across our area tomorrow. Not ultra powerful. Louisville 28 degrees with a wind coming at 16. That's wild, considering what we were talking about last night. You know, I do this for a living, and at the same time, I knew it was going to be cold. Still, I stepped outside today, and it was just jarring to me. 25 in the Seymour area, 26 Bardstown, but we know there's wind. So these gusts are still in the neighborhood of 20. Seymour, remember, is elevated on Schneck Medical, so it tends to be a little higher. But Hardinsburg is a Kentucky Meson, a calibrated side of 27. And you'll notice the air temperatures are around the 28 degree, 27, 26 range. Factor in the winds, and it feels like 12 in Seymour, 18 in Carrollton, 14 in Shelbyville, and 15 in E-Town. Somebody just asked me in Louisville, do I think we'll see wind chills that are going to be in the single digits? It'll be close. I think probably teens. But Louisville is down in 24 hours, a gargantuan, monumental 43 degrees. After about 2 a.m., we see another band of snow or snow showers moving across our area. That pauses mid-morning, and then tomorrow night, we see another area of very light snow moving across the area. I don't think that this one's really going to cause any issues. I don't think tonight causes major issues, but if you're asking me, could we get a minor accumulation on, let's say, grassy surfaces or elevated surfaces like your deck? Yeah, we could. 20's the nighttime low tonight with a west wind at 10 to 20. Obviously, this is a hard freeze tonight. You'll notice that there is not a frost advisory or freeze warning. That means the Weather Service via Kentucky Ag has determined that the growing season has not progressed enough to issue one of those. Tomorrow, 20%, that is mainly early in the day, 34 degrees, and your extended forecast shows some quiet down on Wednesday. Still chilly at 49. Thursday starts the warm-up, and I'm talking about where we complete the warm-up near 80 in 10 minutes.
Thanks, Mark. We'll see you soon. 3D printers being used to make deadly devices like guns and machine gun conversion devices.
Police are warning people about how easy these items are to get and how dangerous they can be.
Is underway at this hour after storms slammed through the mid-state last night. At least one tornado brought down trees and destroyed several homes.
And you know, winter never went far. Inches of snow fell across the area in some places. This is a live look right now at I-40 just outside of Sparta, one of the places that saw the most snowfall. But some roads are slick out there right now, and that snow is what has our attention here tonight.
That's right. You know, our temperatures aren't going to melt anytime soon. Those temperatures are going to drop below freezing.
So that's why we're under a first alert weather day. Let's start right with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Spencer. Lisa, how long are we going to be dealing with this? We are talking about some showers continuing throughout the evening, but mainly towards the east. This is all going to start to dissipate. So as we look outside right now, you can see those clouds in the sky. But here's a look at our next big thing. We've got those snowflakes that are falling, but the cold air is going to stick around a little while longer. We are talking temperatures that will continue to be in the 20s as we dip down tonight. How about that? Very cold conditions on the way. Our first alert weather team, of course, has been watching this throughout the day with the snow developing early on. And there is an advisory, a winter weather advisory, but it only lasts another hour for that accumulating snow here across parts of the east. And you can see some of it still flying there. A little bit off to the west, maybe some flurries here, all moving on by. But most of the accumulating, more significant snow has moved out of the mid-state. Here's a look, those snow showers around Carthage and over to the Cookeville area. Going through the rest of the evening, that snow does start to diminish. Our temperatures will remain rather steady for a couple more hours, and then they'll be dropping down into the 20s as we go through the overnight and that sky starts to clear. So by tomorrow morning, get ready for a chilly start to the day. We're talking 23, a wintry chill, but at least a bright sky returns. We'll show you more about our temperature change, yes, again, coming up with our first alert forecast.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. One of the hardest hit areas was in Lawrence County near the Alabama state line. The National Weather Service confirms a tornado with 105 mile-per-hour winds hit more than 10 homes. WSMV's Brendan Tierney shows us the damage.
Homes were ripped apart and even pushed off their foundations when storms moved through the Bonnertown area late Sunday night.
Just trying to make sure that everybody's taken care of. You don't really have time to be scared until it's all over with.
Jordan Sheldon says all of the windows on his grandparents' house were blown out, and part of the roof was even lifted off his parents' house right next door.
We were kind of blindsided really a little bit. I mean, we knew it was coming, but we had no idea that it was going to be quite as severe as what it ended up being.
Officials say at least 10 homes and one business were damaged in the tornado, and the entire neighborhood is covered with debris. You can see just how strong the wind is right here, where a new double-wide trailer was delivered on Friday, but it was strong enough to blow it all the way across the road and down the hill into a pond. The owner told me that he was completely shocked.
The trees, the damage, it was just chaos.
Down the street, Tanner and Haley Palmore lost more than a dozen trees in their chicken coops, but say they expected things to be much worse when they ran into their safe space.
We were scared. We were both, praying, like, please keep our family safe.
Their neighbors say the only reason they're alive is because they got into this storm shelter. Everything else on their property was destroyed and thrown into this creek.
Trees that's been here for years and years and years that are just ripped from their roots. I mean, there's really nothing else that you can say.
To help clean up the hundreds of trees that looked like they exploded in the storm, an army of volunteers showed up today with chainsaws and loaders.
It's amazing to know that everybody's willing to, jump in and help, even if they don't know you.
Starting that long recovery process. In Lawrence County, Brendan Tierney, WSMV4.
And about an hour earlier, a possible tornado caused this damage in Columbia. Look at these roof lines here. So much property damage because it ripped off shingles from apartment buildings. There were also a lot of trees knocked down. Fortunately, county officials have not reported any storm-related injuries, but neighbors told us they were fearing for the worst.
I was standing in the middle floor. It scared me to death. I was standing in the middle floor. It hit. My windows shattered. I couldn't move. I was scared.
I thought it was going to implode. It felt like the house was breathing. So it was just vibrating, and it felt like everything was going to suck into the house. I don't know how to explain it.
Wow. National Weather Service and the county were also out assessing the damage in Columbia today. And Columbia's new tornado sirens helped warn people during the storms last night. 12 sirens were installed last fall in the city, along with 8 more across the county. But emergency officials say these sirens are really just an extra layer of protection. They're for people when they're outside. You still need to have weather radios and other ways to get updates when you're inside. 2 homes in Franklin were struck by lightning and caught fire last night during the storms.
One home on Medford Place required multiple fire crews to put out the flames. WSMV's Sarah Allen reports from the Dallas Downs neighborhood.
And we heard several very close lightning strikes, and the first one that hit, actually we thought, oh my gosh, it probably was right within a few houses of where we were, and it turned out probably to be this one here.
John Rosella lives just a couple streets over from Medford Place, which looked like this Sunday night.
Significant, a little more sunshine, so it should feel at least a little bit better. But before we get to tomorrow afternoon, we have the next big change, and that is a hard freeze that will set in for many hours tonight. So if you have sensitive plants, things that are popping up out of the ground, you have some sheets, and you're concerned about them maybe getting taken out tonight. Some of the daffodils, that sort of thing, could get some significant damage, if not burned completely tonight. You want to protect those before going to bed tonight. Do it very quickly because temperatures are stepping back toward freezing. First thing tomorrow morning, lower to middle 20s, 23 Nashville, 21 Murray and Paris. Outdoors right now, we have breaking clouds. Your current temperature, if you haven't been outdoors today, look at this. Below freezing now, again with some snow on the Cumberland Plateau. We'll talk more about the snow in a recap mode and talk about another snow opportunity for some in just a moment or two. Lauren?
Okay, thank you. Recovery is underway across the mid-state after storms rolled through our area.
One of the places that was hit the hardest was Columbia. Our Jordan James reports from there tonight. Mother Nature took a direct aim at Columbia, leaving trees down and roots ripped off buildings like this one, leaving parts of the community left to recover. With sounds of chainsaws filling the air.
It's overwhelming. I don't know where to start.
Neighbors are reminiscing on a different sound they heard and experienced.
It sounded like a roaring lion. Roar, just going. It was bad.
A radar indicated tornado touched down Sunday night, causing trees to snap and roofs to be blown off. Among the most extensive damage is at Columbia Hill Apartments, where Deborah Hill lives.
I was standing in the middle floor. It hit my windows shadow. I couldn't move. I was scared. I felt the worst. I thought I couldn't leave him. It was bad.
Feet away from the complex in a nearby neighborhood, Crystal Way's window is shattered and carport destroyed after winds picked up.
The windows, the door, everything was vibrating. It was howling. I can't even describe it. We heard the glass shatter, and it was over quick.
Despite damage being reported, county officials say there are no storm-related injuries or deaths. As recovery continues, an entire community is grateful it was not worse.
I'm just glad everybody's okay, and to take it serious, because I'm from here, I don't always take it serious, so take it serious.
Reporting in Columbia, Jordan James, WSMV4.
A partial government shutdown is stretching on for a fourth week in Washington. So far, more than 300 TSA agents have just outright quit their jobs. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the number of TSA callouts have more than...
The temperature change between yesterday and today is remarkable, and this really summarizes that. This is the 24-hour drop in temperature. So we're 41 degrees colder right now. This time, this minute, than we were this time or this hour yesterday. Unbelievable. 41 degrees colder right now in Lafayette, 38 degrees colder in Parsons. Cold enough for flurries and snow showers to move on through. I think the chill lingers into tomorrow. A hard freeze tonight down at 23. This evening, temperatures tumbling back into the 20s. And then temperatures are off to the races. Notice feeling like spring for the first day of spring Friday. 77, lower 80s expected over the weekend. Lauren?
Okay, thank you. Costco safety alert tonight. Coming up, why a pre-made meatloaf and mashed potato meal kit is being pulled right now, and how to get your money back if it's in your fridge.
It's a best warranty in the industry.
Snow for many of you today. Accumulating snow on the Cumberland Plateau. This is in Monterey at Cumberland Cove. It snowed all day. It's still likely flurrying. Thank you, Luann, for submitting that picture. You can submit your pictures and videos anytime via the WSMV4 weather app. Notice the jump. We actually go to Friday here, and so partly cloudy, much warmer, 77. Notice as we preview the weekend, I think it's just a light southwesterly breeze Saturday, but getting more strong on Sunday in advance of our next cold front. That comes through as we get to Sunday night, but right now it just looks to bring a few showers and thunder showers on Sunday evening. Lauren?
All right, thank you, sir. Check your fridge. We've got a safety alert from Costco. If you're buying some of those easy pre-made meals, it's specifically the meatloaf and potato meal kit. This could have salmonella. You cannot eat this. The recall is specifically for this meal. Other states saw a bit of everything like us. Storms last night and then snow today. Some flights were canceled up north where the bulk of that snow fell. Now, we saw flurries this afternoon here in the mid-state, but in other places, they got up to 3 inches of snow. It's a much different sight than it was 24 hours ago because we were in the 70s.
Again, it's all over the place again. Snow today, but I know as we look ahead to the weekend, we're going to see temperatures close to 80 again.
Lower 80s, yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
So, yeah, get those Crocs, or what do you wear, slides or flip-flops?
I wear flippy floppies.
Who's wearing Crocs these days?
It's just the kids.
Some of my kids. Funny guy. Yeah, no. That type of weather this weekend, we have just the warmth coming on back, but a tornado EF1 105-mile-an-hour wind did hit Bonnertown down in Lawrence County. That's right by the county line overnight. 400 yards wide, so that's 1,200 feet wide, or about a quarter of a mile. Notice the path track there, 14.5 miles. So it was a long track type of thing there in that part of the area, and it caused quite a bit of damage and some suspect damage taking place in Murray County and Columbia as well. bitterly cold tonight behind that system. So the cold air built in today, and this is really the main event for the next 12 to 18 hours. Hard freeze for all of us tonight. I think it stays chilly tomorrow. We get to 40 for a high, but in the sun should feel a little bit better, less breezy than today. And then again, warming quite a bit as we get toward the end of the week. 35 right now at the airport. 26 is the wind chill. Still flurries and snow showers blowing around on the heels of this big system now really getting the eastern seaboard. So there's been a lot of severe weather from the mid-Atlantic all the way down into the Carolinas today. Most of that is out to sea, but notice it's being chased by that snow in western Pennsylvania. So it's a monster March storm behind that. Sunshine takes over by tomorrow afternoon. For some of you, even by tomorrow morning. Here is 7 o'clock tonight. 10 o'clock tonight, still a couple of flurries. And it could be a flurry on the Cumberland Plateau tomorrow. The chance of that is lower. And then decreasing clouds tomorrow afternoon. Here comes another system tomorrow night that will shake loose a few more flurries and snow showers. So early Wednesday, you might see a couple of flurries out there, especially northeast of Nashville. And then Wednesday afternoon, we are warming and we are turning much more sunny. So increasing sunshine tomorrow, especially later in the day. Just the same on Wednesday, but much warmer on Wednesday. 30 the low and 59 for the high after 23 and 40. And I notice about 40 and 70 on Thursday, so we're transitioning warmer. Very warm for the first day of spring. And I notice lower 80s over the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. A little cool down after some showers and thunder showers Sunday night into early Monday. Chris?
All right, Dan, for the second straight year, the Vandy men's basketball team is NCAA tournament bound. This time, they're headed to Oklahoma City. The Commodores will play Thursday afternoon against McNeese State. Now, Vandy's a 5 seed in this tournament, so essentially, with 4 different quadrants, what that means is they're the 20th to 25th highest-ranked team in the field. Now, there was some talk after Vanderbilt's 2 wins in the SEC tournament that they should have been slotted higher than that. Here's what the Doors said after seeing their bracket placement.
These numbers.
Now at 10, Kentucky native was killed over the weekend supporting Operation Epic Fury in the Middle East. How she's being remembered in her hometown of Bardstown. Plus, severe weather rolls through the Commonwealth, sending people to cover. What emergency officials want you to know before the next round of dangerous weather hits the state.
Well, the good news is we're not tracking any severe weather in that extended outlook for right now, but there are some changes that we are tracking. I will let you know what you'd expect coming up.
Local, first, now. We bring you WBKO News at 10.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Avery Catalano. We begin with tonight's top story. Severe weather moved through parts of south central Kentucky Sunday, and in Grayson County, some residents were seen running for cover as the storm moved in. Monday, I spoke with Deputy Director of Grayson County Emergency Management, Blake Schorlocke, about the storm.
As strong storms moved through the area Sunday, residents in Grayson County were quick to find shelter. Our weather camera looking at Litchfield Courthouse captured several people running inside as heavy rain and strong winds moved through the area.
Do not want to be outside.
Officials with Grayson County Emergency Management say moments like this are a reminder of how quickly severe weather can develop.
We know that we have any kind of severe weather coming in. We want them to utilize that if they feel like it's necessary for them. We don't want people to be on the roadways. We don't want people to feel unsafe in their homes. So if we can offer them a spot way ahead of time, hours ahead of time, we always try to make sure that that's unlocked.
Emergency management officials say the safest place to be during severe weather is inside a sturdy building, ideally on the lowest level and away from windows. They say having a plan before storms arrive can make a big difference when seconds matter.
We have a tendency here lately to get our storms at nighttime. So having a plan to get warnings to you while you're asleep or to your family or your loved ones.
Now, crews with emergency management and the National Weather Service are surveying parts of the county to assess any damage left behind by the storms.
I've seen several barns that have been knocked over, a lot of fencing that's been damaged. There's been several homes that's had some tree limbs and some trees fall towards them, knock some gutters off.
During the survey, crews are checking for downed trees, structural damage, and any impacts to roads or utilities as they work to determine the full extent of the storm's impact.
Schorlocke says if you're a Grayson County resident and have damage from the storms, you can call 270-259-0303 or email graysonemergency@gmail.com. We're continuing to track power outages following last night's storm, and we have seen outage numbers decrease since early this morning. In our area, Grayson County has just under 200 as of 9:40 p.m. Clinton County has 89, while Edmonson County is now down to 0 reported outages. But in central Kentucky, Hardin County is also tracking about 190 customers without power. In a post on social media, Governor Andy Beshear says there have been no reported injuries from the overnight storms. Beshear says there is structural damage across the state, and emergency crews are assessing that damage. Beshear concluded the social media post by thanking everybody who took safety precautions.
So live look in Russellville this evening, a quiet evening there on downtown Russellville. It is a beautiful evening and, like I said, pretty quiet weather-wise. A few more passing flurries want to sneak into parts of Hopkins and Muhlenberg County, even towards parts of McLean County. This evening, those maybe make it to the ground, just very isolated. You see a few more passing flurries tonight. Our eastern counties are pretty much done with those snow flurries. We watch those kind of continue to push off to the east this evening. Just watching those snow flurries off to our west this evening. They're definitely pretty, but no major impacts are expected from them, so that is a good thing. Our high temperature today in Bowling Green Airport was 50 degrees, and you look at that and you're like, 50 degrees? Ain't no way it was 50 degrees outside. Well, we reached that high actually right about 1 a.m. this morning. So this almanac takes into account for basically 12 a.m. all the way up until 11:59 p.m. So it took that into account of that 1 a.m. high. So very cold day as we continue to come on down with those temperatures across the Mid-South continue to be pretty frigid. This evening we'll continue to see those temperatures come on down over the next 12 hours, but that's not the story with the temperatures over the next few days as we get a little bit of a warming trend. Let you know how warm it'll get and also track those next chances for more snow and rain coming up in my full forecast.
Now to a developing story where Kentucky State Police are investigating a death in Butler County. We first alerted you to the case using our mobile push alerts. KSP says they responded to reports of an unresponsive man who later died. The man was found this morning around the 8,000 block of Rochester Road. The Butler County coroner pronounced the man dead. KSP says there's no immediate threat to the community and did not provide details on how he died or his identity. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as we learn more information. New at 10, election season is underway, including the race for the U.S. Senate, as Senator Mitch McConnell will not seek re-election. Earlier tonight, 3 of the Republican candidates took center stage in Louisville to participate in the first Senate debate. Here's what each candidate's message was to the voters.
President Trump showed us that we need outsiders. We need business people. We need people that are willing to take on the swamp with everything that they've got. That's why I'm in this race. That's why I'm running. That's why I'm here to fight. As the next U.S. Senator from Kentucky, I will fight for them. Look, I've been asked a long time, are you like a Mitch McConnell Republican or Rand Paul Republican? I am neither. I am an Andy Barr Republican, and I will fight for Kentucky through and through. And when it comes to talking about who I'm going to be more like, not Senator Paul, not Mitch McConnell, I'm going to be Daniel Cameron. And what that means is standing up for your constitutional rights and the common sense values of the men, women, and children of our 120 counties. And I'm committed on day one to ensuring that your interests are heard in Washington as opposed to the special interests that always have the ear of other senators in Washington, D.C.
The state's primaries will be held May 19th, followed by the general election November 3rd. Now to continuing coverage, 34-year-old Air Force Technical Sergeant Ashley Pruitt is being remembered in her hometown of Bardstown as someone who was compassionate and selfless. Pruitt was supporting the war in Iran when she was killed in the crash of an Air Force refueling plane in Iraq. Publica reached out to Freeport-McMoRan and Rio Tinto, the majority owner of Resolution Copper, and representatives for J.R. Simplot and Stan Kroenke, and none responded to comment for this story. Coming up, overnight storms left their mark in parts of Kentucky. Some safety tips the National Weather Service is sharing for anyone cleaning up across the state.
More changes are in the forecast. I am tracking everything that you need to know. I'll have those details for you coming up after the break.
WBKO's First Alert Weather, brought to you by MedCenter Health.
It's a live look out in Glasgow, Barron County this evening, the beautiful Barron County Square. I love seeing the Barron County Square. It's a beautiful square. It's beautifully steep down there as well. So using a AAA assistance camera, a very quiet evening in Glasgow this evening. Still a very cold evening. Looking at a hard freeze expected tonight, so be sure to bundle up those outdoor plants and take care of those outdoor animals as well. Please make sure they have a way to stay warm tonight, as it'll be very, very frigid. 30 degrees here in Bowling Green, 28 in Russellville, 28 up in Munfordville, 28 in Columbia, and 30 over in Burkesville. Upper 20s to those low 30s for all of us across South Central Kentucky this evening, and that is a lot colder than what we were this time yesterday. 42 degrees of difference here in Bowling Green as well as Glasgow. What you'll notice, you can even kind of notice where that cold front was about this time yesterday. As you look at this gradient, it really shows you kind of just where exactly that cold front was, as it's only about 26 degrees colder there in Greenville, which is definitely still a pretty big difference. But looking at these numbers that are over 40 degrees in difference, it shows you how potent this cold front was. It packed a punch yesterday. Some snow showers continuing off to our west this evening. Those are touching in the parts of Butler County, even in the parts of Warren County this evening. Some of these will just be light, and they will continue throughout the overnight as well. Some more passing flurries possible early Tuesday morning. Those will clear out. We get to see some sunshine by Tuesday afternoon. Still going to be pretty cold for your Tuesday. Clouds move back in for your Wednesday. Another round of seeing a few passing flurries Wednesday morning, maybe in the parts of Wednesday afternoon as well. So another little system treks its way on through, and those will clear out, and we really start that warming trend by Wednesday. Again, another chance of rain for your Thursday. Just a very isolated chance for Thursday, though, as those will also clear out. Like I said, we really continue on that warming trend by Wednesday. Cold for that St. Patrick's Day holiday tomorrow. Then we're back up to near 80 degrees by the weekend. Again, that 80-degree mark by next Monday. So we really continue on a warming trend. And it looks like that warming trend will continue as we look at that extended temperature outlook. We remain above normal with the temperatures going through March 24th through the 30s, taking us almost to the end of March. We continue to see those warm conditions. Tonight, hard freeze expected. So like I said, bundle up those outdoor plants and take care of those outdoor animals this evening if you can. Maybe bring them inside. It's going to be a very frigid, cold night. Overnight lows in the 20s. Some spots could get into the teens. Looking ahead to tomorrow, don't forget the St. Patrick's Day holiday. Have that green ready to go if you don't already have it. Highs are going to be in those mid to upper 30s. Sunrise just before that 7 a.m. hour. So wear that green so you do not get pinched tomorrow. Be sure to have that out for those contractors working tomorrow. Chilly start, giving you the kind of yellow arrow just because it is very, very cold, and then warming up by the afternoon. You can see some much needed sunshine as we look for those next 7 days. Semi-active pattern, but we do continue on a warming trend, already back up to the 80-degree mark by next Monday, so the cold air is not going to last for too long.
Thank you, Jonathan. And we are seeing some images of damage from the storm overnight. This was taken in Litchfield, Kentucky. Siding on a bank was ripped off the building. The National Weather Service advises you to keep some things in mind when you go to clean up the damage near you. That includes wearing boots and gloves that can protect you from sharp objects, including nails and broken glass. It's also important to make sure you are safely using chainsaws or other power tools. Meanwhile, some Kentucky counties had problems with their tornado sirens last night, including Shelby and Adair County. According to Shelby County Emergency Management, there was an interference issue between the public safety radio and the sirens. It caused some to not send out alerts. Right now, emergency officials say they figured out what was causing the glitch, and they're working to make sure that all sirens are in working order. Officials add that their technicians have been called and will be responding to check the issue. They say most should be fixed, but also suggest to anyone living in the area to sign up for the Rave Shelby County alerts. With the NCAA tournament just days away, both U of L and UK are getting set for the big dance. We'll show you how next in sports.
Gene Burke.